But we're not everything. Not everything, honey.
Next on First News at 5:30, California rattled by an earthquake this morning. A look at the damage and how some here in central Illinois were impacted. Changes on the way to a summer staple in the city of Lincoln. The reason the Art and Balloon Festival will be different. The plans for next year. Your local news at 5:30 starts now. Good evening, I'm Lindsey Hess. Nerves are frayed tonight in the San Francisco Bay Area. Folks there still jittery over the biggest earthquake to hit the area since 1989. There are no deaths reported so far, but many injuries, some of them serious, and the damage is extensive. Akiko Fujita reports from Napa, California.
The powerful tremors jolted residents awake. The 6.0 magnitude quake striking the heart of California's wine country just after 3 a.m.
I just held on, I threw some pillows over me, and rode it out.
The quake was so strong it crumbled historic buildings, buckled roads, and sparked fires overnight. The flames tore through this mobile home park, destroying at least 4 homes. Bill and Teresa returned to find this.
We lost everything.
But we're not everything. Not everything, honey.
The tremor ruptured gas lines and water mains, sending firefighters scrambling.
No water to fight. You had to just get people out of the path.
At area hospitals, doctors rushed to treat the injured. Nearly 100 patients reported, with at least 3, including 1 child, in critical condition. Carrie Kassler was hurt in her hotel room.
The glass from the mirrors came and put shards and fragments everywhere. I got glass in my feet.
Governor Jerry Brown has now declared a state of emergency. This area, known for its active faults, now reeling from its strongest quake in 25 years. Tonight, tens of thousands remain without power as they brace for more aftershocks in the days ahead. And already there have been a handful of aftershocks that have been recorded since that initial quake struck overnight. The Red Cross has set up an evacuation shelter at a local church. Schools have been canceled tomorrow. Akiko Fujita, ABC News, Napa, California.
Well, you worry about him, even though he's an adult, you still worry about your kids, no matter, how old they get. When they're away from you like that and you hear something going on, you get concerned.
That's Daryl Bacon in Petersburg. His son lives in Oakland, not far from where that quake really shook things up. Tonight at 10, he and his family will explain why they consider themselves especially lucky. And we'll speak with a local dentist who got a rude awakening on his Northern California vacation this morning. For the second night in a row, the streets of Ferguson, Missouri stayed relatively quiet. The protesters were still there and still vocal, but in much smaller numbers than before. The improving conditions prompted the state's governor to request the National Guard start leaving the city. A memorial for Michael Brown marks the spot where the black teenager was killed by a white police officer. Thousands are expected to attend Brown's funeral Monday in St. Louis. The White House is sending 3 officials there for the service. The extreme heat causing one Champaign County school district to close up early tomorrow. If your child goes to any school in the Beamont School District, they'll be out at 2 p.m. A temporary setback. Republican gubernatorial candidate Bruce Rauner using those words to describe not having a term limits measure on November's ballot. Today, Rauner told reporters he will campaign aggressively on term limits in both his bid to unseat Governor Pat Quinn and on behalf of state lawmakers who support it. Rauner led a petition drive to put it up for vote in November, but courts deemed it unconstitutional. The unexpected firing of 59 state workers whose jobs were improperly filled with political considerations likely won't end the controversy for Governor Quinn. His aides announced the firings last week ahead of a report that more than 250 people had been improperly hired at the Department of Transportation over the last decade. Agency officials previously said they avoided dismissing any of the workers because it could lead to expensive lawsuits. One official says it was determined to be better to eliminate the positions than to create new jobs covered by appropriate hiring rules. The temperature is not the only thing going up today. Hot air balloons are filling the skyline near the Logan County Airport in Lincoln. The festival is one of Lincoln's biggest annual events. In fact, event organizers say it's grown so much they don't have enough volunteers, which creates a safety issue. This year, they're operating the event about 200 volunteers short, which has forced them to take a look at how to handle the huge crowds.
The event has grown over the years to become so expansive and large. It's not just the downtown venue, it also takes up a full airport out on our north side. And to manage that, it's getting quite hard.
To alleviate this growing problem, they are separating the events in coming years. Instead, it will be 4 different weekends throughout the summer. Organizers are expecting almost 20,000 visitors throughout the weekend. For a full list of activities, a schedule of events, and a list of the changes coming next year, just head to our website and click on Web Watch. A historic site in Springfield has a new exhibit for fans of nature. The Dana Thomas House celebrated its new butterfly garden this afternoon. Butterflies inspired some of Frank Lloyd Wright's designs at the Dana Thomas House. The garden was installed by volunteers at the White Cottage, which is right next to the house itself. This afternoon, a butterfly expert was at the historic site to offer tips on how to attract butterflies to your own garden. Still ahead on First News at 5:30, making the best of a rainy day. An annual softball game in Danville canceled due to storms. Why those involved say their mission continues despite the rain delay. In news for the St. Louis Rams, quarterback Sam Bradford left yesterday's game with an injury. What his MRI results showed in sports.